Trudy.
Hello again, it's Trudy here from HotPatterns, accompanied by my lovely dog Boyd, as you can see. And I'm going to do this little clip for you about measuring, about how to measure yourself. We thought it'd be useful because we've had a few emails from people saying, I'm not quite sure how to take my measurements, and we thought the best way to do it is to actually show you. So I'm going to show you partly on me and partly on the stand, because obviously I can't measure my own back. But the first thing to bear in mind is that stands like this, you can see, they're not real. They don't have a real physique. They have kind of a facsimile of a physique. They also have these, which we don't have as well. So stands are useful up to a point, but you really need proper body measurements for things. And I'm going to show you how to take those, where you should take them. Now, a couple of things to bear in mind. When you're taking your measurements, you should do it wearing well-fitting underwear. Well, quite clearly that's not going to happen here. I'm not prancing around in my underwear for anybody, not on camera, that's for sure. So I'm going to do it over my clothes, but really, well-fitting underwear is really key. And flat shoes or bare feet is the best thing to do. The other thing to tell you, this is really, really important. Tape measures do not lie. They are not elastic. What you see on a tape measure is what it is. So don't try and kind of fool yourself. I know it's really tempting. You measure your waist and think, oh, I can't measure that, I'll just take an inch off. Don't. You're just cheating yourself. So really, tape measures are not elastic, they don't lie, they will tell you exactly what you need to know. So I would recommend what you do is you go to our website, www.hotpatterns.com, and have a look at the size charts. You can do /size charts to get straight to it. And you can download two things. I'm going to show you those in a moment. One is the measurement chart, and that's got the little diagram of the lady on it, and one is our size charts. And when you've taken your measurements, filled out your measurement chart, you can then compare it to the size chart and see which size to choose or which mix of sizes is best for you. So let us commence, shall we? So I've got here my trusty measurement chart. It's got the figure of the ladies here, and in red you can see where you actually need to measure. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to measure both on the stand and on me, just so you see where they are on the body. So the first thing to measure is your centre front. That's A on here. Centre front nape to waist. Now, you find your nape like this. Put your finger at the base of your neck, and you'll feel a little dent here. You've got a bone here. In the middle is a dent. That's your front nape. Okay? So you take your tape measure, and bear in mind, if you use inches, stick to inches. If you use centimetres, stick to centimetres. Try not to mix them because it's going to make your life really difficult. So nape down to your natural waist. Now you'll feel where your natural waist is, but I'll show you later on how to do that, so you might want to do the waist first and come back to this. It's all okay. So nape to natural waist. And on here, we go nape to the waist. You can see that there. Okay, so she's quite proportional, this stand, but of course most of us aren't, so this is why measurements are such a good idea. Front nape to front waist, easy peasy. What's the next one? Ah yes, front shoulder width. This is one that gets people quite confused. It's not a usual measurement. Front shoulder width goes from your shoulder point, which I'll show you in a moment, right across the other shoulder point. And you'll go across the base of your neck, you'll go across the front nape. Now when you do it on a person, you need to find where the shoulder is. And you can kind of feel where that is. You don't want to go where your bra strap sits. You want to go really where it starts to curve. So you'll go from the front shoulder point, I'm not even sure if I can do this on the standing on here, across here, and you can see it goes right across the front of my nape. And that's your front shoulder width. It's kind of quite important for blouses and jackets and things. The next one we've got on here, ah yes, shoulder length. Now, shoulder length goes from the very side of your neck out to your shoulder point. Don't forget, that's where you start to curve. That's your shoulder point. So you do it from there to there. Okay, this one starts to go about ½ inch in from the edge. So this one is 4½. That's kind of an average-ish shoulder. You might be narrow, you might be broader. It doesn't really matter. You need to know your shoulder length. And bust circumference. Now, this one is really key. I know a lot of people tend to use what they call a high bust measurement, which is kind of going over here. Actually, that's like a made-up measurement. It's not really true. It's not really real. It's not really relevant. I know some people find it useful. If you do, go ahead and use it, that's up to you. But really, nobody ever uses that. Not in, in the pattern drafting or design, it's never used. Your bust circumference goes around the widest part of your bust, also known as the bust point or the nipple, if you want to get right down to it. So it goes right around the widest part of the bust circumference, all the way around. And this is why you need to use well-fitting underwear when you're measuring, because if you don't wear a good bra, one that gives you a good shape and kind of holds you in the right place, you're going to get a really wacky measurement. So bust circumference is there. And under bust, goes clearly quite under the bust. Now, this is what I mean when I say these are not real bodies. You do not know anyone who has a bust shape like this. You don't. It's anatomically impossible. Not going to happen. So, under bust, I'll show you on here, goes right under. You can see in profile, it's pulling me in there. That's your under bust. Measure it round there, straight round. That's really, really important. Okay, centre back. Centre back's one of the most important measurements. It kind of fixes everything else in its place. And the centre back is from your back nape down here. Now you may find your centre back is much longer, measurement-wise, than your centre front. Your centre front is going between your boobs here, so it's going quite flat. Your back goes over your shoulder blades, and if you've got quite a kind of a scooped out back, it'll go into this S shape like this, down into the back there. So don't be surprised if it's quite a bit longer than the front. It's really not a problem. So back nape, down to centre back waist like that. And to find your back nape, here's what you do. Put your finger, I think I'll do it this way, put your finger here and just tip your head back. And where your finger's trapped in, that's your back nape. That's how to find it. See, I'm full of fabulous information like this. Okay, back shoulder width. Now back shoulder width is similar to front shoulder width in that you're going from the shoulder point right across like this. And you can see it kind of curves a little bit. That's okay, your body curves too, you have to take that into account. So you're basically using a flat item to measure a curved item. It's not always easy. So that's your back shoulder width and your neck circumference. Now, neck circumference, people often think it's around the base of the neck like this. It's not. It has to go right through the centre of your neck. Think of it as kind of a choker, like that. You take it right round like that in the middle, the kind of widest part of your neck. When you go down to here, you've got the base of your neck. It'll make your collar measurements enormous. So right around here is where you want it. Now, yes, natural waist. Now, given that for the last kind of 15 years or so, the usual thing is to wear the waistbands of pants and skirts a little bit low. You might be a little bit confused as to where your natural waist is. Well, you can probably see it on here. It's marked with some tape. But here is how you do it for you. Put your thumbs in at the side. You'll feel it. You'll feel it. It's on the top of your hip bands. And then just bend over like this. Bend over like that. Think of you doing the old-fashioned kind of calisthenics. Bend over like this. Where your thumb gets trapped, that's where your natural waist is. So you want to measure right around your natural waist. Now, it's always a real trauma for me to do this because I've got an enormous tummy, but I'll do it nonetheless. Don't mean I'm going to share the information with you, but I will do it. Okay, so right round here, like this. Okay, and don't be tempted to kind of drop it down here where you like to wear your pants or your jeans, because that's not your natural waist, that's your pants waist. Different thing altogether. So your natural waist is at your natural waist. And what have we got next? Okay, centre front waist to floor. It's kind of pretty obvious what it is. Centre front waist straight down to the floor. When I do my inside leg measurement, I'll show you the trick on how to do it. Well, actually, I'll show you it now. Drop your tape measure down and stand on it. And stand on it till you get it taut, like this. And then, when you move your foot, you'll go, oh, it's that, fantastic. It's the easiest way to do it, otherwise you're kind of doing this and it just doesn't work. Okay, so you do that at the front and the back. Centre front waist to floor, centre back waist to floor. And again, your back measurement will probably be longer because it's got to go over your bottom. So don't be alarmed if it's like a few inches difference. It's really no problem.